Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Stiglr for the Details. My name is Alan Dickerson, known to some in wargaming circles as Stiglr, and we're going to get right into it now. Turn 3. I spent the entire last episode kind of talking about various considerations that now come into play at the beginning of Turn 3, and now we're about to basically dive into it. So the first thing we were considering was the fate of these units here in Pernholz. And we have figured out that maybe hang on a second. I just opened up a log from the previous turn, so this still has everyone on their friction point expended side. We determined last time that this unit is out of supply, and there's one other unit that was out of supply, and that was it. We determined that this unit was in supply by dint of artillery units not having a zone of control and being able to trace it around to the road here. These units also have no zone of control, so they can go right around them, get onto this road which leads off the eastern edge. Okay, now having done that, we will reapply the friction point removal, and we're here. I also also talked about the new feature I had built in, which if I refresh the counters, will allow me to take all of these units and eliminate them and send them to the casualty bin, along with the lone Soviet casualty, which goes in here. And I also set out the reinforcements, but I seem to have lost those. Hang on a second. Let me look at this log sheet and see what did I open up. Turn 3, start. Yeah, I thought I saved this game state after I had set out the reinforcements, but I'll have to do it again. So to recap, entering this turn, game turn 3 for Donau front is merely the 22nd Guards Tank Division that will enter at any of the 3 railheads, which are here. There's one here under this unit, and there is a third up here. And emerging from those railheads will cost them 2 operations points to detrain. Looking at the NATO side, let's first get rid of that. We find there's a bunch of reinforcements coming in for NATO. And let's detail them now. So we get the more 10th Panzer Division troops entering here at hex 2801. That's this hex here. And these have, where are my markers? other markers. These have 9 operations points. And we have at 1601 the 24th Panzer Brigade elements at 1601, which is here. And these will have 8 operations points. 8 operations points. And we have the 29th Panzer Grenadier, which enter at 2801 with 9 operations points. So that adds here. And we also have at the same hex more elements of the 29th Panzer Grenadier, but these have only 7 operations points. 7 points. There we go. And we have a bunch of French units. These which enter with 9 operations points. These with 8 operations points. And finally, these elements of the 5e Division Blindée with 11 operations points. All right, so let's take all of these, back them up one, take these and slide them over. There. Okay, now we're ready to go. So we're going to start here and see what unfolds with this drama with the Czech units. So we are going to declare an assault with this stack, and note that they have some engineers there, and those are going to have a dramatic effect on proceedings just by their presence. This unit, so we have 8 plus 9 is 17. We're going to 17. We're going to add in the artillery here, which is 7, for a total of 24. And this unit's out of range. So we have 24 strength points, which we're kicking in. We're also going to kick in 1 air point to add in chemicals, and that will be a 1-column shift to the right. Remember that chemicals are phasing out in their effectiveness. NATO is catching on to proper use against gas. And let's see. That's all they have. And the Warsaw Pact player will invoke the first use of, not nukes, but electronic warfare points, of which they have 6 for the initial phase. They will use 1, and this will hopefully stop this German artillery unit, which is the only one in range, from contributing its strength to the combat. So we roll 1, 2, or 3. The electronic warfare is successful. 4, 5, or 6, it is not. And it is a 2, so it is successful. So they can't bring in any help from the outside world. And so that leaves them with 24 participating points to NATO's 4 plus 2 is 6. 24 to 6 is 6 to 1. It's where we start. We start at 6 to 1, and because the Czechs have an engineer present, instead of using the city row, we use the rough marsh broken woods row, which at 6 to 1 results in 2-column shift in favor of the Warsaw Pact. That's the effect that the engineers have. We have a 1 strength point or 1 column shift to the right for the use of the chemicals. So now we're here on the H column, and that is all we have. Let's make sure there's no river hexes involved here. It's just a straight city assault. And oh wait, this is a multi-hex attack. So they get a column shift for each additional hex that the attack is conducted from. So now we're at 8 to 1. Now we're on the I table or I column. And by dint of it being a multi-hex attack, it must be a prepared attack and will cost 6 operations points. So we're here on the I column. So let's make a note of that. Attack on units. Paired attack with 1 air point for chemicals. Engineers participating. Electronic warfare successful. We are on the I column. And we roll and we get a 4. That's probably going to be an exchange. No, it is a 0, 1. And that is significant in that this unit here is at the brink and is eliminated. This unit gains 1 friction point. Oops, sorry about that. Oops, no. Only 1. He gains his first friction point. For these players, or for these artillery units, they simply pick up a friction point. They have not used any operations points yet. These that are actively engaged in the assault, they will flip over to their friction point used, and that is the result of six operations points being used. Now they're going to redouble efforts with this stack here, this unit here, because it participated in the initial multi-hex attack, is done for the phase. These units will continue on and make a second 6 operations point prepared attack, or no, that should probably go with a hasty. Let's see, it'll be 8 to 1. The artillery unit is reduced to only 1 strength point because they are unsupported by any infantry or hard armored unit. They defend with a strength of only 1. So that's 8 to 1. And because the engineers are also involved, we start here on the 8 to 1 broken table. So we start on the I column. Now, we're going to have to, again, use a electronic warfare attempt and pray for that to be successful. We're also going to lob in more gas. That's an additional air point to get a column shift for chemicals. Now that we have committed everything, we're not going to use any additional artillery. They're just going to go with just this unit, and that's it. So now we're going to see if electronic warfare was successful, and it was with a 3. So they can't call in the artillery to help out. So we start here, 8-1. We get a column for chemicals to get us to the J table, and no other help arrives, so we're on the J table. Okay. Second. Oh, wait. No, we're going to make this a hasty attack on Pernholz. This is hasty with 1 air point for chemicals, electronic warfare, successful, engineers employed, J column. And we roll the die and we get a 1. Sounds like it's pretty good. J, hasty, J. Oh, good that we didn't make it a prepared assault, because that would have resulted in a loss for the Czechs. As it was, we get 0 and 3 as the result. And I think that might 1. Let's see. This unit it's eliminated on the 5th, so they have to take another one. 2, and then they retreat 1 hex for their 3rd. These units get to advance, and that's relatively bloodless for the Czechs, who, had they taken a loss, that would have killed both of those units. As you can see there, they're on their friction point side, plus they have 2 friction points, which means it's a total of 3. That would have, so 2 more would be a 5. That would have killed the engineers and put the armored unit on the brink of destruction. All right, so that went fairly well. Now the Czechs are going to let's see here. Going to move here. Because this is the map edge, so the NATO unit will be able to get into this hex, but they won't be able to get into this hex and surround them. So they basically got the front or the flank covered as much as they can against these rapidly advancing armored units. Let's see. We'll advance this unit there. And we've got 2 artillery units, which will That's not good. They need one more unit to occupy Leublitz here to keep the NATO units out, but yikes. All they have is a one defense unit to do it with. Well, actually, okay, this is what they're going to do. This unit advances to follow that unit and has spent 9 of its operations points with the prepared and then hasty attack. So they still have movement left, and they will use it to move out there. And do they want to move that unit in? No, they don't need to. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, we can move this Soviet armored regiment across the river here and get more of a foothold. If not, just drive through here and drive them out of there. Okay. Let's move over. Let's finish with the 15th if there are any other units, and there is one over here. Let's move that unit up. 2 to go through the city. 3, 4, 5 following access roads. 6, 7, 8 along the freeway. 9 to stack with this unit. Flip it for a friction point into the bottom of the stack. Okay, then we've got front artillery, which will move on the access road across the bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top of this hilltop. And there's that. This movement trail. All right, so we're done with that unit. Now, this unit is the 53rd Guards. Let's see what they can do. All right, we've got, let's see, he would be 11 to 1, but if electronic warfare is not successful, that would make it 11 to 6. Not even 2 to 1, it would be even odds. On the city table without engineers, he would be repulsed, surely, possibly with greater losses. But what is the possible upside to that? I think the upside to that is he probably does not want to assault. But what might be nice is to coordinate a little bit with the 15 Guards tank and send this unit around there to knock this artillery unit out of position. Okay. How would that work? Let's first take a look at this hex side and make sure there's no bridge or access hex side there. There is not. So that would take 2, 4 to cross the river into that hex. Then 5, 6, 7. Then it can move along the road up here, because these units do not extend their zone of control out of that city into additional city hexes. So if he's here, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, no, he's not going to be able to make it there. It's going to be a little too expensive for him to get there. Well, the rocket unit could do it with direct fire. I need to make sure of operations points for moving through a city. Okay. Warsaw Pact. In city hexes, it costs 2, and they may not use road or autobahn hexes to reduce costs. May do so for NATO. So yeah, I am doing it right by calling those city hexes for 2 movement points instead of something less. Oh boy. Let's see. How else could they do it? This would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then he could do direct fire against this unit and attempt to blast it or move it out of there. Okay, let's make sure that artillery units can attack on their own using direct fire. Let me check on the rules here for artillery units on the attack. Artillery direct fires, page 9. Let's check up on that. Okay, artillery unit that is stacked with a non-artillery unit may participate in an attack against an adjacent enemy unit by conducting direct fire. They're doubled in strength. An artillery unit in a stack containing at least 1 non-artillery unit that is attacked by enemy must participate in the defense by conducting direct fire. Any number of eligible artillery units may participate in a combat using direct fire. However, see 8.21. Let's see if that's a prohibition against attacking by themselves. 8.21. An attack may not be conducted solely by artillery units, attack helicopter units, air points, or electronic warfare points, which is what I was afraid of. So they're not going to be able to ride to the rescue by themselves. Who might be able to? Maybe this 53rd Guards unit might be within range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. There we go. So, okay, let's get over here to the 53rd Guards and see what they can do. This unit already has 2 frictions points. Here we go. On the road, 1, 2, 3. We'll flip over for a friction point. +2 to cross the river amphibiously. 5, and then 1 to enter the hex, 6. Now he will conduct a hasty attack against the artillery unit. That will be a 10-1 because the artillery unit is by itself. 10-1 in a wooded hex. And he is not going to... well, hang on a second. We've got this unit here. Yeah, we're going to try for electronic warfare to keep this unit from participating if we can, and let's see what happens. No chemicals. No, we're going to go with that. So first off, let's see where we start with if that unit gets no help. We would be at Broken Flat Woods at 10 to 1. That would be the L table. That's a very good table. Now, let's see if electronic warfare is successful. We use a third attempt and to turn on the jammers, and what happens? It is again successful. Wow. So this unit gets no help, and we are on the 10 to 1 in Broken Flat Woods. 10 to 1, and no other effects for column shifts, so we are on the L column. So here we are, versus 39-26. 10 to 1. EW successful. L column. And we roll a 3, which in Broken Flat Woods at 10 to 1 results in a 1-4 result. All right, so this is a 5-step unit, right? Let's see, it's at 1 now. If we go there, 2, bump up the friction points, 3, bump up the friction points, 4. That's right, it's an artillery unit, so it has 5. 5, control, and then down. Okay, so he has 1 friction point now and has 5 to give before he is destroyed altogether. He's got to take friction points till he gets to within 2, because that is West German doctrine. So that would be 4. So he will take 3 friction points. 1, 2, 3. And the result was 1 and 4, 3. And he will retreat 1 hex. But the hapless, that's right, because he retreated 1 hex, that reduces the friction point gain of the attacking unit by 1 hex, or by 1 friction point, so that eliminates the result. Okay, so that makes 10 to move him out. Right? He was there. 1, 2, he was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's got enough points to launch another assault. But boy, I'm thinking he's going to be pushing his luck. This EW is going to fail at some point, and the unit is still within range of this unit here. But even if he does take a friction point against this unit, he's going to get 1 result, and that's going to push this unit to the brink, which will silence it, so it's worth it. He's going to spend his last 3 to continue the attack on this unit, and let's see, if I risk just allowing this unit to participate, that would be 4, 10 to 4, which is only 2 to 1 odds. in this terrain, can't get a 2. He would run how much of a risk? 50-50 that he would get a 1-1 result, 50% chance of simply adding a friction point to the attacker only. All right. Got to push the EW one more time. We're starting to get low on points, and let's see. Let's see if that is successful. And for the first time, it fails. So this unit is going to add a friction point to add 3 strength points to the combat. So now we're looking at a 10-4 assault, which begins at 2-1 odds here on the D column. And he did not add in any chemicals or anything else like that. So we're on the D column. Okay, attack on, that's hex 4026, 26, hasty. Germans get artillery support. EW fails. So we're on the D column. And the result is a 1, which we've already seen is for a hasty attack, is a 1-to-1 exchange. This unit has to go to the brink, flipping over to its friction point spent side. This unit gains another friction point. So he now has 4 out of the 6 required to kill it. But this has done the job of silencing at least this unit for artillery support. This unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is not within range of this combat, so it's been expensive, but he has done his job. Now, other elements of the 53rd are going to see if they can move in for the kill here. Let's see what we would be countenancing here. They move in here and do an amphibious assault against this remaining unit. We would have an assault of 11-1 for an unsupported artillery unit. It would be across a river with no engineers helping. So let's see what the effects of that would be. Across a river, be 4 to the left, all attacking non-artillery units across river hex sides, even if bridged and no engineer. So that's 4 to the left there. City, that's only a positive if they have an engineer. And that's it. So 4 to the left. So if we start at 11-1 against the city, we get 4 to the left. We're on the F column, which is not great. Not great. If we use an error point for chemicals, we're not really gaining a whole lot, but we're reducing the incidence of only the attacker taking a friction point by 1 result on the dice. Is there any other way to get Well, we could use air points. We could use an air point for a strength point. That would start us at 11-1 here. 4 column shifts puts us here. 11 to 1. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So we have, oh, wait. No, I can't do that. I've already rolled for, oh, no, I have not rolled for electronic warfare because we don't need to. So I have not yet declared this attack. Okay, so 11 to 1. And now let's use an air point, 2 air points, 1 to add in chemicals. That gives us a column shift, and then another one for a strength point. So now we have a 12 to 1 starting attack against the city, 12 to 1. 1 column over this way for chemicals to 13 to 1, and then 4 back this way because of the cross river assault. So this lands us here on the H column. And let's see. We're going to make it a hasty attack. Okay. So let's declare hasty attack versus 4128. 1 air point for 1 strength point, 1 air point for chemicals, 4 left shift for river crossing attack. So we end up on the 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, H column. Okay, so we have 3 to move there and 3 for the assault. And we roll a, let's also make another check to make sure we don't have any German units in range to help. This is the nearest artillery unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't reach. Okay, so H column, get a 5. That's not good. H5 is a 1-1 result. This unit is bumped up 1 more friction point to 4. And this unit is bumped up 1 friction point and also has spent operations points, so he's now up to 3. So, 2 more would kill that unit. But I don't really see him. Oof. Could be expensive. Got to make hay while the sun shines. So let's see. He moved into that hex. 3, 6 for the assault. The rest of it is going to finish him up. So let's finish it up with a prepared assault. Okay, and let's do another one. So prepared attack on 4128. I'm going to use 2 air points for 1 strength point and chemicals, which is in effect a 2 column shift, and then 4 left for amphibious river assault. Okay, so that is 11-1 against the city, 1 more, or 12-1 against a city, 1 for chemicals, and 4 to the left is H. H column, you get a 2 this time. On the H column with a prepared assault is another exchange, a 1-2. So while this will cause this unit to go to the brink and then retreat a hex to offset, the retreat will keep this unit from gaining its friction point in the exchange, and it can move in and take the hex. Okay. And he is now done, having spent all 12 of his points, operations points. Okay. Let's keep going with this 53rd. Let's zoom in a little bit. We've got these units are all 53rd guards. So let's start to consolidate some gains here. And this unit's already got 3 friction points on it. A little bit hard done by. This unit is relatively fresh. So let's start with them. Give them a friction point for expending operations points. I'm going to use the access roads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wooded hex. Now back on the road. Let's see where we're going to go. 5. 5, 6, 6.5. Let's go and seal this unit in. Or actually moving there will seal it in, because this hex here will become a neutral hex. This hex is also controlled, so that'll seal him in. So let's stop that unit there. Okay, let's move the rest of the assets up. I wonder if this unit shouldn't just stay here. Yeah. These 2 units will move up. And a friction point 2 to enter the city. See, has to use the terrain in the hex to get around the unit that's blocking the road. So that's 4. Then using the road 5, 6, 6, 6.5. 10 to get there. Okay, let's see what's the best way to get through there. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11.5 there. I'm going to leave this unit there and not flip it and have him just do a bit of recovery. So we got these engineers here with this unit. Which way are they going to go? We're going to need engineers possibly in this area. So let's move these assets. Yep, up the road. 1, 3, 4, 4.5, 6.5. 8.5, 9, 10, 10.5. The engineers are going to continue on through this hex that they can stack in. 10.5, 11. They'll leave one behind, move the other one in there. Yes. Soviet stacking is 3, but only one regimental size unit, and that's just fine. Okay, there's the 53rd Guards. Now let's move over here and see what we've got with the 15th Guards tank against these units here. We do not have any artillery for the Germans that are within range to aid. And so probably now is the best time to strike and use some kind of multi-hex attack here. Shame that this unit won't be able to participate, but maybe he'll be able to go in and apply the kibosh after the fact. All right, these units each have a strength of only 1. So we've got an assault here, 10, 20, 21 to 2. That's 10 to 1 against the city. And already this is not looking too good. So we're starting on the I column. Defender not in a city hex, and all 6 hexes are surrounded or controlled. That's not the case. It is a multi-hex attack, and they get an additional hex or additional column shift for the second hex involved. So 10, 21 to 2, 10 to 1 against the city. Actually, that is pretty good. There's no help from the outside. If we use an air point to lob in one more strength point and another one for chemicals, we'll get 21, 22 to 2, which means 11, and then a column bump for chemicals. That would put us on the K table. Yeah, that looks good. So let's do that. 2 more air points, one for chemicals, one for a strength point. And that gets us to 10, 21, 22 to 2. So it's 11 points against a city hex, 1 column for chemicals, 1 point for multi-hex attack. That puts us at 13 to 1, which is the maximum for a city. We get no German help, and we don't need electronic warfare to be used. That looks pretty good to me. So, prepared multi-hex attack versus, that's 3627 Regensburg. Okay, 2 air points, 1 for one strength point, 1 for chemicals, 1 right for multi-hex. And so we are on the L column. Roll of 5. 13 to 1 L column, prepared 0-3. That's a very good result for the Pact. So this unit is surrounded, cannot retreat, so he's got to take all 3. There's 1, there's 2. He can't take there's a 3rd that brings him to the brink for an engineer unit. So an engineer unit has 5 steps. That's interesting. I'm going to have to check and see if that's correct. This unit will take 1, 2, 3. He takes all 3. Let's see about this unit. It is a but regiment or brigade size unit. Let's see. These sizes are, let's see here. Unit size is 2. Unit designation 2 is a battalion. Let's find out how many friction points a battalion size unit has. Friction point averaging. That's all about stacking, mobile combat, combat resolution, maximum friction point levels. All regiments, all battalions have a maximum FP of 4. So 5 will destroy these units. So he has now got 5. 3 plus the 1 makes for 4. He had 1 starting out, so he is in fact at the brink. Okay, so that's that attack. Participating units, and that's those 2, take on a friction point for that attack, and now they're going to use their final 6 to try and complete the deal as follows. They will launch an attack. This time they're going to use this rocket unit to add in 5 more points, and that will take it to 10 26 to 2, which is neatly 13 to 1 against the city. They have a multi-hex attack, so that would forestall any column shifts that the NATO player might use, but they have no help for that unit, seeing as this unit is at its max. No other units are within range. So, second attack on 3627. This time it's going to be a hasty attack with rocket support, and that's going to be on the L column as well. And this time they roll a 6. Ooh, that's not good. L versus a hasty attack is a 1-2. Now, this unit can soak up 1, and then a flip. Oh, no, the 5th one kills it. So he's eliminated, but he soaks up all 2. This unit is soaked up with just 1. And it cannot fulfill all of the friction point losses, is simultaneously destroyed by the unit that did require 2. So that unit, by dint of it having 1 friction point that it did not actually soak up, will allow the Soviet units to not acquire the friction point that they got from the result. They advance into the hex, and that's it. So they're done for the turn, or done for the phase. This unit will, let's see, what's it going to do? We've still got one more unit. And then we have this unit, also part of the same division. I don't know what he's doing over there. Let's see. How are we going to finish this? This unit, I think, will stay there. Let's see if there are any opportunities to do any overrun style attacks. We've got these German rockets and artillery units, which will probably bolster. Yep, they've got a range of 5, so they can help any of these units except this one, but they're in a city. So I don't see him going over here and taking on any of these units. But I do see him staying to the south of the Donau. All right. Let's take this unit and flip it. And that is not a city hex. Let's move up here along the freeway. And where do we want to stop? I think here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop there. And that's going to do it for the 15th Guards tank. They've earned their keep. I think we'll have the rockets stay in the town for support reasons. Let's move down here. Got the entirety the 18th Guard tank here. And let's move them into this area preparatory to some assaults here. We've got a blown bridge, but so we can go amphibious and pay an extra 2 movement points to bridge the Donau. So 18th. Got this unit. These 2 units here are both from the 15th Guards tank, which is forming up over here. Let's maybe get they're both artillery units. Okay, so let's start stacking here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, 5. Let's stack them there. Move the other artillery unit. And move them into this hex there. Now we've got our 15th Guards here forming a nice line. That's good. Now we can move into 18th Guards tank, and they will yeah, looks like they should form a front right here. But maybe first let's move the airborne into a better blocking position. Yeah, we're going to move the airborne in here to pin these units. Also to take these artillery units out of the equation by moving adjacent to them. Oh, wait. Zone of controls do not extend into cities. We can't get around this way. Anything to be gained from, yes. There's a lot of ground to cover here. Okay, let's use the 103rd to form a line on this road here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, this unit here, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Using the village there. It's a little bit of cover. This unit, 1, 2, 4. Ooh. This unit's going to be slowed considerably. No. Let's stay on the road. 1 here, 3 for the town, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see. Here, I'm just going to stay put. This artillery unit is going to move into a good support position. 2, 3, 5, 6. Stay there. With his range, he can support the entire line. This unit here. Oh boy. 1, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we've got these units. I think they're going to stay there for garrison duty. Eventually, the French may be able to use those paratroopers to get in behind units late in the game and start creating supply problems. So we're going to leave them there. Now let's see. What do we want to do with our favorite Czech units here, facing a thorny situation with this unit here? All right. They have a really great defensive strength of 3 in this town. It's going to take everything we've got to reduce this unit. He needs 4 more friction points to be able to kill the unit. All right, so here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to use the Soviet unit to forestall any commitment problems with the Czechs. This unit will lob in gas as well for a strength point or a column shift. So there's that. So we will bump him up a friction point for his participation. We will call in some artillery here. And what the heck? For this unit, we will bump him up two and double his participation to 8 points. We'll bump up that unit 1, 2, and double its. No, it can't. It's not rockets. It can't double. So we have 8, 11. 2, 3, 4. This one too. 15 in artillery. 24, 32, 40. 40 to 3 in a city. 3 13s are 13, 26, 13, 26, 39. That is neatly a 13-1 L column attack. There are no engineers. It is a multi-hex attack. That's another column shift. So yeah, we're on the maximum table, 13-1. So we have attack versus 1335. It's going to be a prepared multi-hex attack with Soviet artillery dissipation, L column. And we roll. Let's also do some checks here. We could, no, this unit is adjacent to an enemy unit, and so he cannot use even his 1 strength point to aid there, so we don't have anything. So it is the L column, and we roll a 2. Prepared attack, L column is 0-4. That's excellent, because that eliminates the unit. Hang on a second. That unit had, let's get our casualties. That unit had 1 on it, and it needed all 4 for the 5th friction point to eliminate it. So these units all move in. They don't gain any friction points, but only 1 unit can continue on, having spent 6. And let's see which unit will continue on. Oops. This unit will continue on to pin the armored unit. The rest are done for the turn. These others, I think we'll leave the rockets behind to replenish. These other 2 will take on a friction point, and where will they go? One, 2, 3, 6. This one, oops, starts there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. This unit will flip to its friction point side. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go and stack. No, they won't. They're going to go there. Down here, we've finally cleared Passau, so this entire division can move up. We'll start with this unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Gain control of that unit. This unit's in. They're in okay shape. They could use some rest. Nah. The leech. Take the friction point. Spend operations points in this phase, and they will all move up. Got half, 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7. Mm-hmm. 8, 9, 12. Gonna take them in the other direction so that they don't start to confuse me. 2 for the town. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. That's as far as he can get. Get rid of those. Okay. I think we're going to leave one unit here just as a garrison, and that's going to be this artillery unit. But in the meantime, let's move the armor up. 4 to amphibiously cross here, +2 and 2 for the town. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're all linking up quite nicely. Both of these are artillery units. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to stack with this unit. And this one is stacked with that unit. Now, I don't. Passau is probably not going to be key to garrison, because even if it gets blocked, the only supply route that it would block would be this road here, which ultimately leads to Czechoslovakia. Every other road leads to Austria, so there's no sense in that. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to the bottom of the stack. Ag also to the bottom of the stack. And there's our 4th Tank Division. Okay, now sorry, had to stop Ziggy from yapping. Okay, now let's see here. We've got this 48th Division, relatively fresh, and we're going to move it up here to form possibly the next Schwerpunkt. So we're going to flip all of these units to their to their friction point spent, and let's do some movement. 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half, 7 and a half, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A half, 2 and a half, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, get on the access road. 9, 10, 11, 12. Artillery support. 1, 3, 4, 5 along the main road. 6, 6 and a half, 8 and a half, 9, 10, 11, 12. Following behind, we have 1 half, 2 and a half, 3, 3 and a half, 5 and a half, 6, 7, 7 and a half, 9 and a half, 10, 11, 12, and these units coming in behind, inadvertently move the rail head. Should be there. Okay, let's use some rotation so that we can start keeping tabs on these units. Okay. There's that. We've still got another whole Guards tank division, which is not moved here except for this 53rd unit, which is going to rest up. They can take up arms in this area and make an even tighter, harder Schwerpunkt. So let's select all of them at once, move them to their friction point sides, and start moving. Half, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, going between the towns. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's the cheapest way to get there? Oh boy, the forest is a very good blocking position. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half, 7 and a half, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good position for support here with its range of 5. Finally, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 6, 7, 8, 11. Okay, now for the Soviet reinforcements, which come in here with the second operations point at any of the 3 railheads. Let's zoom out and find where our railheads are. It's railhead here, here, and here. Let's see where we can use another Soviet tank division. This is shaping up pretty well. You know, the Czechs might need some help against what's descending on them. So let's move the Soviets out of this rail hex with their second operations point. And this is a pure tank division. So let's have a look at the Soviet march orders for pure tank. The one with the rockets in it, and that's this one, is column B. The one in the lead is column A. None of the railheads are within 8 hexes of each other, inclusive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they have to come out in a single column stretched out. Let's send them along the Sham access route. Okay, here we go. 2 to get to the railhead, 2.5, 4.5, 5, 6, wait, 5. Either way, I'm going to have to end up going through a town. 6, 8, 8, 8 there. Let's see if we go here. No, the town's going to stop us. 9, 10, 12. Column B, behind. They'll be able to end stacked. And there's our reinforcements. Also, let's see, I haven't moved on these Soviet helicopters, and I should have been using them all along. They're going to start to come in handy. Where are we going to base them? This large field here looks like a good place to start putting them. So they're going to copter in from the edge, very belated. And there's nothing to really stop them. They don't pay, or do they pay? Yes, I believe they actually do pay movement costs of terrain, because this represents their support elements which travel along the ground. Their range of 20 is 20 hexes is their flying range. So let's see. Well, they come in from a railhead, or they can fly in from the edge. Let's see. It's the best route. Well, they don't have to fly together. Let's move in one from this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's move this one in from here. Half 1, 2, 3. This is a Czech town. 4, 5, 6, 7. Another Czech town. 8, 9, 10 along the access road. 11, 12. And finally, this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and a half. Rotate it out of the way. Well, actually, there. Okay, the helicopter units have started to move. Now the Czech units. Air mobile units. Where are they going to come in handy? they going to be able to do any mischief behind the scenes? Because they're going to have to go through air defense because the entire flank has been shored up. Still not really seeing a lot of utility for these air mobile units. Well, I want to start moving them somewhere toward the front. So 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. Oh boy. 2. Gonna leave their stored stuff back here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 8.5. That's as far as they're going to be able to get. Actually, they can just stack with this. 10.5. There. I'll leave one in reserve. They'll move up here. Oops. C, Y. Okay. I believe that's going to do it for the Soviet half of the turn. We're 1 hour and 40 minutes in. So, oh boy, do we have enough time to get the German half of the turn in? We've got a lot of units to move. It's probably going to take longer than 20 minutes to figure out what to do with everything. So I think I'm going to end here. See a comment here from Hex to Hex. I don't know if he's still here. But yes, I do have an interest in the Cold War. And this series pretty much is my expression of it. There are other games, notably The Next War, which came out in about the same time period as this, and I think was even more popular, but it's a little bit more detailed. Certainly in the air game, this system really, what's the word I'm looking for, abstracts the air elements and also the nuclear elements and the chemicals too. But I think it does so in a fairly elegant way in the form of column shifts and, much easier way to use air power rather than to have to really keep track of which specific units are moving where or operating where, or where you have air superiority. It's expressed map wide for the side that controls it. The 568 armor. Do you know where that unit is on these maps? Do you know where you were? Do you remember where you were stationed? See if we get an answer here from Hex to Hex. And maybe we can find his unit on the map. 5 of the 68th Armor. Let's see, Mannheim, the 11th ACR area. Let's see, Mannheim, where would that be? Let's see if we can find where you would be. Mannheim, is that Rohrpott area? Not exactly sure where that might be, but I'm thinking maybe the 5th Corps area. Where might that be? Hang on a second. Let's see if we can find where you are by using the setup and reinforcement track here and see if there is a 68th. Oops, wrong side. 68th Armor somewhere up here. These are German units. Let's see. 8th Armored Infantry, 2nd Armored Division, 5th Field Force. They were part of the 8th Infantry Division. 8th Infantry. Did I just say 8th Infantry? 8th Infantry Division. This would be on the 5th Corps map right here. And you said 5 of 68. I believe that's this unit right here. So we have found Hex to Hex's unit. These would come on in turn 2 as a reinforcement if they were not brought on the map by the use of the training division's rules. There are rules that hypothesize that some of these NATO units might have been deployed forward on operations when the balloon goes up. Of course, the Soviet player would not know about that, so they would kind of be placed to thwart their plans without them knowing about it. But anyway, hey, we found your unit, 80 to 87. So yeah, your guys might be on the 5th Corps map, duking it out. All right. Well, anyway, as far as Bavaria is concerned, I've got, as I said much earlier, a lot of reinforcements here that the Germans would be bringing on. So I don't think I'm going to get too far into that before wrapping up this episode. So I'm hoping you'll join me the next time I decide to roll the dice and move some virtual cardboard on the next installment of Stiglr for the Details. Until then, happy gaming, and we'll see you next time.